Good evening, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior, and we are at the Q Kitchen table, where I am getting ready to make our holiday feast. We don't really do Christmas in this house. Personal beliefs. So we are just going to have a holiday dinner. Which is actually going to probably be lunch on the 24th. So, this is what the menu consists of so far. It is going to be our ham with brown sugar and honey and pineapples and maraschino cherries. I have the ham in the fridge. I have the maraschino cherries. We have the Coke locked up so it doesn't get drank. And all I need now is the pineapple rings because I am completely out and all I have is crushed. So that's going to go on the shopping list. The next thing, of course, is the jellied cranberry sauce. Usually I'd like to make my own, but I've got these, so that's what we're going to use. Mama likes some warm baby beets, so this is for me. Then we are also going to have sweet potato casserole. And so this is the directions and all the items that we need. Instead of using mini marshmallows, I'm going to use these big vanilla flavored dandies that I got from Thrive Market. And 1 can of the yams. I do have 2 large cans. But I believe it's only going to take 1 large can because it asks for 2 cans. But I do have 2 large cans just in case. And we'll see where we need to go from there. I've got the walnuts in my freezer. And everything else I already have. There we go. The next item that we're having is some stovetop stuffing. I had a bunch of those. I have, I think, 4 more left after this. And I like to make mine with the chicken broth, so that's what that's for. We're also going to make some mashed potatoes. I have plenty of mashed potato flakes. All my potatoes have decided that they wish to grow more mashed potatoes. In other words, they're not mashed at all. They're whole potatoes with lots of eyes waiting to make babies. So there we go. And the next thing is our green bean casserole. And this is actually one of my side dishes that's a meal in a bag. And it's not a complete meal, obviously. But we have the 2 cans of green beans. The 10.5 ounce can of cream and mushroom soup, 3/4 cup milk, and then I am going to use croutons because that's what I have a lot of. So there you go. Anything else that I need, I do need some yeast rolls, but I have those in my freezer, so I'll take those out the night before. Let them, rise and all that fun stuff. Oh, goodness, a lot to do tomorrow and Wednesday. Because I am not cooking past Wednesday. Alright, so I'll be back with a continuation of all the items that go onto the grocery list that need to be bought. And then we'll make this up for you and let you see how it goes. Alright, I'll see you in the next bit. I don't know what's going on. Alright everybody, this is Gardening Warrior and we are starting our holiday feast with our sweet potato casserole. And I've got the sweet potatoes drained and in my little mixing bowl that's actually 4 times more than what I needed. It calls for 2 cans and actually 2.5 cups, so I actually have 5 cups, so it's doubled. And there's our butter right there, and I'm going to mix this up, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, so I am back. We have mixed our casserole together, our sweet potato casserole, and I have cooked it on 350 for 15 minutes just to get the butter and everything mixed up together. In the morning I'll take this out along with the green bean casserole and whatever else I need to heat up. What I'm doing tonight is just getting everything put together, and that way all I'll have to do is cook this for another 15 minutes, put the marshmallows on it, and we'll be done after, you know, cooking it for another 10-15 minutes and getting those marshmallows all nice and melty. So, onward and upward. The next item we're doing is our green bean casserole. Alright, now our green bean casserole is one of my sides that I have in a bag. So it's got 2 cans of green beans, 10.5 ounce can of cream of mushroom, 3/4 cup milk, and I'm going to use some of this evaporated milk, and then I'll use the rest of that tomorrow on our pie. And then a pouch of croutons instead of the French fried onions, because we don't really care for those here. And then a salt and pepper pack. So let's get going. The directions are on the other side. We've already got our oven preheated to 350. So we are now going to mix all the items and half of the croutons in this bowl. The first item is going to be the 10.5 ounce can of cream of mushroom soup. Isn't that a lovely sound? Yes, I'm joking. If you're using the evaporated milk, make sure you shake it really well before you pour it into your mixing cup. Now we're going to pour this milk into that can of cream of mushroom soup and stir it around and get all the goodness out. Now we're going to stir all that goodness together. Add the salt and pepper packet. Mix all that goodness together. And anybody who knows me can tell you I hate waste. So I drain the green bean juice into a little cup that I can put a lid on, and then I'll save it for later for something else. There goes in 1 can of green bean. Mix all that green bean goodness in there, and now we're ready to add our croutons. Alright, so our green bean casserole is ready. All we have to do now is in the morning, I'm going to spray and put it into this 9x13 and bake it for 25 minutes. And then after the 25 minutes, I'm going to add the remaining croutons on top and add any other salt and pepper. But I tasted it and tasted alright, so we're probably just going to leave it that way. Alright. On to the next item. Going along with the I hate waste, I also keep my aluminum foil because I only buy the good, thick, heavy aluminum foil. And then I wash it, disinfect it with my Melaleuca items, and dry it and keep it. And I'm using this piece even though it's too big for the bowl because it fits exactly on that 9x13 pan. Alright, so the next endeavor tonight is our pumpkin pie cheesecake. And I've just gathered all the things I need. That's sugar in there. Because I buy it in bulk, so that's what that is. That's not ice cream. Alright, well, let's get started. These are all the ingredients I need. And here are the directions. I've already got the oven preheating to 400 degrees. And now we're going to put our pie crust into our pie pan. So it's not the prettiest thing, because I had frozen it and defrosted it. And it was fully defrosted, but it made it a little, you know, it fell apart. But that's okay. It'll still eat just fine. Alright, let's fill her up. Now the next thing we're going to do in a medium bowl is beat the cream cheese, sugar, vanilla extract, and egg until smooth. Always make sure that you have softened your cream cheese. This has been out pretty much all day and it's nice and soft. And also make sure that your eggs are room temperature. These have been out for a few hours and yes, they are room temperature. I need 1 egg and we're going to test this egg by cracking it into a separate cup and not just cracking it straight into our bowl. Because I've had some bad things happen, even if they aren't fresh eggs. That is a perfect egg. No cloudiness, no funky smell, no weird blotches. Beautiful, perfect egg. In she goes. Alright, we've got everything except for the vanilla extract, and I've got my homemade vanilla extract here. 2 years old, it's strong. So we're not going to give it a whole 3/4 teaspoon because it's homemade and it's strong. Alright, now it's time to whip it all together. Let me tell you. That homemade vanilla extract is real potent. But it's good. So, you want to beat it just until it's nice and smooth. Don't overbeat it. Now I'm going to use my special spatula here. It's kind of like a scoop and a spatula. And it's from Pampered Chef. And I'm going to scoop this out and into this pie crust. Don't forget to put holes in the pie crust, or your pie crust might shrink and make all kinds of bad things happen. So I like to just put 3 or 4 little fork pokes in there. I don't think you can really see it, but they're there. Alright, now we're on to the pumpkin layer. Alright, so I've got everything for the pumpkin layer mixed in there together, and I forgot to record it. But anyways, it's all in there. And now we're going to mix it up. Alright, I'm fairly certain it was supposed to be 1 can of pumpkin, because I put 1 cup of pumpkin in there and it was way too watery. So I added the rest of the can, which was a 15-ounce can instead of 8 ounces. So it looks much better now. We'll see how it goes. And now we're going to put it in the oven. We are only going to bake it on 400 for 15 minutes. And then we're going to take it out and cover the edges with aluminum foil to keep them from burning. While we're waiting on that 15 minutes, we're going to go ahead and clean as we go. I'll be right back. Alright, now we have our pumpkin pie. Wait, cheesecake pumpkin pie. Yes, that's what it is. There's cheesecake on the bottom layer, and of course the pumpkin pie on top. And it's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but you know what? It's completely edible. We don't care what it looks like. We'll see you in the next one. I believe the next thing we're going to do is our mashed potatoes and our stuffing. And then we're going to heat everything up and we'll be ready to eat. Oh, and our ham. Alright. Alright, so that might look weird, but what it is beef bone broth with 4 tablespoons of butter, a tablespoon of pepper, half a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of my special seasoning, my wood-fired garlic seasoning. This stuff is bomb fire, whatever you kids call it these days. But there's a tablespoon and a half of this. And now we are going to add our stuffing. Alright, we've got our 3 6-ounce packets in there. And now we're going to just moisten it all up. And we will add a little bit more tomorrow and then cook it. But we're going to let this sit overnight and get nice and fluffy. And we'll be back. Alright everybody, good Christmas morning. We are back in the cute kitchen and I am getting ready to heat everything up. The ham is it's an already cooked ham. I cut it into big pieces so that we can marinate it. And I had already recorded this, or I had done this and it didn't record, so that's why it's already done. It's 1.5 cups of regular Coca-Cola, not diet, not the cherry kind, just regular Coca-Cola. Otherwise, your ham will taste like some kind of weird chemical. We also put the juices from 16 ounces of maraschino cherries, just the juice from the pineapple slices, and 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Heated that up, mixed it all together so the brown sugar was nice and melted in there. Heated it up in the microwave for 2 minutes. And now we are going to marinate our ham in this lovely marinade. Alright, I put the lid on it and I shook it and turned it upside down so that all the goodness can get all over that ham in there. We're going to wait 30 minutes while we're dealing with everything else. Alright, here is our pre-cooked sweet potato casserole. We're now ready to put the marshmallows on it. It says for 1 cup, but I put a little more than 1 cup on there. So let me tell you, it is very imperative that you do not put those marshmallows too close to the heating elements. 2 funny stories. Unfortunately, we lost my father this year in October, and he had a lovely habit of catching the marshmallows on fire. One year, my grandma, Eloise, was up from Miami, or I'm not really sure, Tampa at the time, I think. And she was at our house. I think it was with my Uncle Randy, and at the time I was married to a firefighter.
Sometimes.
My parents in our trailer in Lady Lake had a double stove. And it was chock full of food for Thanksgiving, probably. I don't remember Christmas tree being up, so it had to have been Thanksgiving. Anyways, my dad put the marshmallows, and we had gas. We had gas heating, so there was actually a fire. And he put the marshmallows too close to the fire and caught the marshmallows on fire. So my grandmother, bless her heart, calmly looked over at the stove. She had her back to the stove. She calmly looked over at the stove and said, "Your stove's on fire." My husband at the time, who was a firefighter, looked and he's like, "Oh, it is." And someone went to go open it and he's like, "Don't open the stove. Just turn it off." If we had opened the stove, it would have caused a flashback. It would have caused the entire house to go up in flames because it was a 74 trailer. But, and then the next time we were living in Deltona, and he had just gotten a little stove, a toaster oven, and decided that he was going to do the Christmas yam casserole in this brand new, never used before, toaster oven. Well, it caught on fire. That was the only time we ever used a toaster oven. It was a colossal fail. Anyway, so the marshmallows not only caught on fire, but they exploded. So we had a white mess. We had to unplug it, leave it there, and just, let it burn itself out. But the toaster oven, the pan, everything was completely destroyed. And after it cooled down, we had to throw it away. So that's where our lovely, funny holiday adventures. So, we're going to put this into our 375 degree oven for 10 minutes. We are going to watch it very closely. It's going to go on the middle rack, far enough away from the heating elements. Next is our pre-prepared stuffing. It's all nice and gooey from being all in that lovely juice from last night. And I just put some, actually it's portobello mushroom sauce, and I put that on top. If you don't have that, because it's not something most people have, most people do have cream of mushroom soup. 1 10.5 ounce can, you'll be just fine. If you don't want it, leave it out. It's no big deal. But it adds a little flavor to it. And this stuffing is already delicious, even without it. Now we're going to cover this up, because it just needs to be heated through. And stick it in our oven for about 20 minutes. And yes, I reused the aluminum foil that it was covered in the refrigerator with to put it in the oven now. Now, I'm going to put it in the oven, and then we're going to put our green bean casserole in the oven, covered, for 20 minutes. And then we're going to put the croutons on the green bean casserole. Alright, all the important stuff's in the oven. You're going to set the alarm for 10 minutes, the timer for 10 minutes. And go open some presents with these girls. I'll be back. Okay, so we have our holiday ham, our sweet potato casserole, our stuffing with mushroom gravy, and our green bean casserole. I'm going to open up the cranberries. I was going to make mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese, but I really think we have enough here to go ahead and get us through today, and I'll make the rest of that stuff later for, another meal. Alright, y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Happy Kwanzaa. Hanukkah is over, but Happy Hanukkah. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Essie.
Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And I'm guessing Maggie doesn't want to be recorded. Okay. Maggie will say bye-bye off camera.
Bye-bye.
All right.